Welcome back, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. We are going to be finishing up our basketball unit today. So here's what all you need is a basketball or a ball that bounces, and if possible, access to a hoop. Okay, so we're going to work on 3 skills today. We're going to do a few different levels within each skill. We're going to work on our dribbling. Okay, just like we did the other day, we're going to work on some dribbling. We're going to add some more to it. Then we're going to work on a little bit of pivoting and passing. Pivoting and passing. And hopefully, when you're passing, you'll have a partner or a wall you can pass to and bounce the ball. And then finally, we're going to work on our shooting with that beef, that balance, with my knees bent, elbow under the ball, eyes on the rim, follow through up by our eye. So dribbling, remember when we drill with the pads of our fingers, pushing the basketball down into the ground. When we pivot and pass, we have to pivot, be nice and low. When we pass, we step to our target. And then finally, when we shoot, we have that beef, balance, knees are bent, elbow under the rim, eyes on the target, follow through, high, elbow by my eye. Okay, so if you have a ball, go ahead and go grab it. And if you have access to a hoop, go ahead and near it, and then let's pick up on the lesson today. If you do not have access to a hoop right now, the first 2 parts of this lesson, the dribbling and the pivoting and the passing, you do not need a hoop. So you can do these first parts and save the shooting for another time. So here's what we got for dribbling. We're going to start with just a real simple tossing the ball back and forth. Now, try to have those arms straight as you toss it back and forth from pad to pad, okay? And now you can go up and down here, up and down as you go. Tap it back and forth, hand to hand. Here we go. Nicely done. And now take it into just dribbling with your dominant hand. So you're going to push that basketball. You want to get 10 where you're dribbling up by your shoulder, 10 while you're dribbling next to your waist, and then 10 where you're dribbling up by your toes. And we're going to do this for about 30 seconds and just go alternate throughout those. So I'm going to start with 10 by my shoulder. I'm dribbling, pushing the basketball into the hoop, into the ground, not into the hoop. My eyes are up, my knees are bent. Once I get 10, then I hold my basketball. It's by my waist. I'm pushing that ball into the ground. Use my dominant hand. Once I get 10 near my waist, then I get 10 near my toes. My eyes are still up looking at you. If you need to, you can look down. Once you get the hang of it, you get those eyes up. So I got my 10 low, then I come back to my 10 high. We got a couple more seconds here. Here we go. So up on my shoulder, then by my waist, and then down by my toes. Nicely done. And now we're going to do it with our non-dominant hand. So switch that other hand. 10 by your shoulder, 10 by your waist, 10 by your toes. Pushing that basketball with the pads of your fingers. Here you go. Nice and low. Nicely done. Pushing that basketball in to the ground. Nicely done. Once I get my 10, then I move it down a little bit lower. And a little bit lower yet. Alright, so once you're done with that, now you're going to go into that figure 8. Remember, we've got a couple of different ways we can do this. We can do it while you just roll in that infinity sign, rolling your basketball. Or, of course, you can dribble in that figure 8. Make sure when you're doing this, you go one way a few times, and let's go ahead and switch and go the other way a few times. So I'm going the other way today. So I'm just taking that infinity sign around the other way. And remember, mistakes happen because that's all part of learning. Let's take about 10 more seconds here. And our final one, not our final one, we got a couple more. So our next one is going to be dribble, dribble, cross. Remember, we're going to push that basketball down using the pads of our fingers. So 1, 2, cross, 1, 2, cross, 1, 2, cross, 1, 2, cross. And you go as fast or as slow as you need to. Make sure when you're crossing, it's a nice hard. The ball changes hands. So 2 dribbles, 1, 2, cross over, 1, 2, cross, 1, 2, cross, 1, cross, 1 dribble, cross, 1, cross, 1, cross, 1, cross. Nice job. Keep going if you can. Speed up. Now try to go no dribbles, so just going back and forth. Go. Back, forth, back and forth. Nice. Done. Here we go. And our next one is going to be pound, between, maybe 1, 2, between, 1, 2, between. Now the ball's in my right hand, my left leg's forward. When the ball's in my left hand, my right leg goes long forward. All right. So 1, 2, between, 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 1, 2, between. Alrighty. Take a couple more seconds to practice that. Nicely done. Now, before we move on to our pivoting and passing, we're going to work on the pivoting and dribbling. So, if you recall from last time, we took a couple dribbles and a pivot. So, when we're doing this today, we're going to work on the reverse pivot. So, your reverse pivot is, we'll do a front pivot and a reverse pivot. So, a reverse pivot is I'm here, and it's like I'm just taking a step backwards. So, everybody see that reverse pivot. So, if I was dribbling to you, I jump stop. My reverse pivot, I'm going to have my left foot as my pivot foot so it stays in cement. And my other foot takes a step backwards. I take a couple bounces, 1, 2, jump stop. I'm going to reverse pivot on my right foot. My left foot is there. Take a couple, 1, 2, maybe 3, jump stop, reverse pivot. Here we go. Take 30 or 25 seconds to practice that reverse pivot. It's like you're stepping backwards, and then you go. Here we go. Jump stop, reverse pivot. All right, now, so that was a reverse pivot like we were going backwards. The next one is going to be a front pivot. So I jump stop, and then my left foot stays in cement, and I step forward with my right foot. So again, if I'm dribbling towards you, I jump stop. Front pivot, this one stays in cement. I take this foot and I come in, bring it around. I take my 1, 2, jump stop. Here, step around. 1, 2, here. So I'm going to dribble across 1, 2, jump stop. Front pivot. 1, 2, jump stop. Front pivot. 1, 2, maybe 3, jump stop. Front pivot. All right, here we go. Couple more. 2, jump stop. Front pivot. 1, 2, jump stop. Front pivot. Last one. 1, 2, jump stop. Front pivot. All right. Nice job. Now, moving on to our next skill. Find a partner or a brick wall or something hard where you can pass and it will come back to you, okay? You may need to go outside or into the garage or even find a family member or friend to pass back and forth. We're gonna start with the chest pass, or what I call an air pass. The reason I call it an air pass is because it only stays in the air and either goes to your partner or it goes to your target, okay? And it should come back to you in the air. Now, when we pass, a couple things. Number one, you want your knees bent. Everything we do in basketball or in most sports, actually every sport, whether it's gymnastic, dance, basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball, lacrosse, all those sports, you need to be in that athletic position with your knees bent. So we have our knees bent and then we step to our target. Now, when we pass the basketball, we have our thumbs here and we finish with our thumbs down. So you step and pass. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna step, pass, to your target today. And hopefully it comes straight back if you hit it right on the money, okay? So let's get 20 chest passes. So 20, step, pass, 1, 2, and it can bounce on the way back, but I want to pass it in the air. And I'm going forward, 3, 4, 5. Now, so make sure you step with both feet. 6, 7, 8, halfway there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so that is the first one, 20 air passes or chest passes. Now, the other pass that we're gonna practice today is the bounce pass. And just like the chest pass, we still step to our target and finish with our thumbs down, but this time it's going to bounce on the ground. So when we're bouncing it, we don't wanna bounce, we gotta use our imagination. This is where it gets a little bit challenging, especially if you're using a wall, okay? So I gotta think, if I pass and it bounces off the wall here, that would be by my teammates' feet. So I need to think when I pass it, if I throw it from my waist, it's gonna bounce up and hit my partner or my target in the waist. So just be thinking, I don't wanna throw it above my head, I don't wanna bounce it so low where it bounces low. You wanna pass from about your hip or your belly button and step to your target and have it bounce right up. And so this one you wanna put a little more, you can throw this one a little harder because it loses some of the speed on the ground. So I step and I bounce and then it's here. We're gonna get 20 bounce passes. Make sure you step with your right foot sometimes, and step with your left foot sometimes. So I step to my target, there, I get 20 bounce passes. Here we go. So I'm at 5, 6, I step, bounce, and it may bounce on its way back, and that's okay. Just like that. Step and push, nice and hard. Bounces right back to me. Step, push, bounces there. I lost track, so I'll go 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta step with that other foot to practice. 5. All right. So that was our 5, or excuse me, our 20. Now, this is for a little more advanced. So if you're looking for a challenge, we're gonna combine the dribble, the pivot, and the pass. So I'm gonna start by my target. I'm gonna take 2 dribbles out, and I'm gonna reverse pivot and pass. So I'm here, I start in that athletic position, my knees are bent. Ball's in one hand, I'm gonna take 1, 2, jump stop, and I'm gonna pivot and pass. I'm gonna get it, and then I'll come back. So I go 1, 2, jump stop, pivot, pass. I want you to get 5 pivot passes that are bounce passes and 5 pivot passes that are air passes. So a total of 10 more passes. Now make sure each time you're not just dribbling with your right hand, that's probably your comfortable hand, your dominant hand. I'm just make sure you're practicing with your non-dominant hand, because as you know, the only way we're gonna get better at anything is if we practice and persevere. So make these mistakes now when we're practicing. That's the perfect time to make mistakes as we're learning today, okay? So make sure you're using both hands as you dribble, not at the same time, because that's a double dribble, okay? But dribble sometimes with your left hand and sometimes with your right hand, okay? So you're dribbling 2 or 3 times out, pivot and pass. Here we go. 1, 2, jump stop. I'm gonna front pivot, air pass. I'm gonna do my air passes first because I like those. Okay, so I threw that. So that's 1, 2, jump stop, pivot, air pass. 2. Coming back, I gotta do 5. I'm gonna dribble my other hand. 1, 2, jump stop, reverse pivot, pass. That'd be 3. Here we go. Coming back out. 1, 2, jump stop, pivot. Make sure you're using both hands. I got 1 more air pass. So I'm dribbling with my left hand here. 1, 2, jump stop, pivot, air pass. Now, same thing. We're going now with a bounce pass. So take a few dribbles out. 1, 2, maybe even 3. Jump stop, pick your pivot, step, target. That'd be 1 bounce pass. Here we go. Dribbling out. 1, 2, jump stop, pivot, step, and go. 2 more. Dribble with my left hand here. 1, 2. Jump stop, pivot, step to your target, and 1 more. Here we go. 1, 2, jump stop, pivot, pass. Excellent job. So that was working on our dribbling, our pivoting, and our passing. Moving on to our next skill is shooting. So remember, when we're shooting, it is that deep balance, elbow, eyes, and follow through. Balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. So balance is talking about being on balance. We don't want to be shifting off to one side. We don't have our feet too wide. We want to have about shoulder width apart with our knees bent. We want to be on balance in that athletic position. Remember, any sport or activity we play, we are in this athletic position every single day, okay? So we start with that balance, even on our feet. Our elbow, we want to have that hand under that C backward C. Our eyes are on our target, and we follow through to that J, elbow by your eyebrow today. So balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make 5 to 10 what I call form shooting. This is just practicing that balance, elbow, eyes, follow through that beef, nice and close. You want to start in. If you watch any NBA players, WNBA players, Sabrina Ionescu, if you watch Kevin Durant, LeBron James, all of them, Steph Curry, start in nice and close when they begin doing the same form shooting. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us, okay? So make sure as you're doing this, you start staying nice and close. There's a time we're going to shoot some threes, maybe you'll shoot threes later, but start it nice and close, get that form shooting, that balance, elbow, eyes, and follow through here. Balance, elbow, eyes. Make 5 to 10 form shots. So you can be on the side, you can be in front, but you want to be nice and close. You should make a lot of these since we're nice and close in here. Okay? If you're a little more advanced, you can go and you can stay here and try to only get swooshes or when they don't. So take a couple moments here to finish up. Balance, elbow, eyes, follow. Alright? So here, balance, elbow, eyes, follow. Balance, elbow, eyes, follow. So that's our first activity, is that form shouldn't be in that C and J through that beef today. Alright? And so our next drill is going to be, we're going to move just a little bit back. Is going to be the same thing, only you're going to self-toss. And a self-toss is I toss it, and then I jump, stop, in. Now, if you're someone that plays basketball, and you do something a little bit different where your feet, where you step in 1, 2, that's fine. But for PE and for simplicity, we're going to toss and jump, stop, right into that balance position with my knees bent, okay? So you're going to be a couple more steps back. You're going to be here. Actually, I have those so you can see me from this angle. So I'm about 6 or 7 feet back. I toss it here, I jump stop, and I do like or shoot. Now I can jump with it now as I'm going. So I toss it, jump stop, shot. I make 5 to 10 self-toss jump shots. So we're still in nice and close. Toss it here, jump stop. And is it reasonable to expect that you would make every single shot every single time? Of course not. There are some of the best players only shoot about 40%, meaning they miss 6 out of their 10 shots, making only 4. So when those misses happen, don't get frustrated. Just keep practicing. Here we go. We'll go a couple more moments here. Self-toss, jump stop, shot. Last one for me. Jump stop, shot. So that was when we're shooting a jump shot. Now, we're going to shoot a shot that is nice and close for a layup. Now, when we shoot layups, a jump shot is off 2 feet, and we jump up and we shoot 2 hands, 2 feet. Jump off 2 feet, shoot with 1 hand, but we have that guide hand on the side. Now, when we shoot layups, it's off, we jump off 1 foot. Now, think, when I'm shooting a layup, my right knee and my right arm are attached. So when I'm coming in to shoot a right-hand layup, my right hand, right knee go together. If I'm shooting a left-hand layup, left hand, left knee. So when this arm comes up, this knee comes up. Imagine they're connected by a string. So as I'm coming in here, I'm doing my layup with my left hand, left knee. Now, when you're doing it, you can add that second hand, because I'm a little bit older, I have a little bigger hands, but practicing. Make sure when you're doing this, you go 1 here, and then jump, and I can still have that where I gotta jump off 1 foot. So you're gonna make 10 layups. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start on one side, just like this, and you're gonna take 1, 2 bounces, shoot a layup. You get your rebound. Take a few bounces out, 1, 2, jump, stop, pivot, 1, 2, shoot that layup. So you're gonna go back and forth as you go, shooting those layups. Here, jump, stop, pivot. Oh, some layups, even though it's nice and close. Take those dribbles, pivot, come from here, just like that. one important thing as you're finishing up, get the whole basketball above the whole rim and have your eyes up so you make your layup. All right, continue to practice shooting that whole ball above the whole rim. So if I'm going to get it off the bottom, it's going to hit the bottom. So if I hit the bottom of the backboard, it's not going above. I got to get the whole ball above the whole rim so it can bounce off the backboard and drop in. All right, and our final activity, which you will do on your own with a family team member or a friend, is play some bump. Remember, this is the game where the person behind you is trying to make it before you. So, for example, if I'm playing here and I've got a friend and I shoot and I miss the shot and they shoot and make the shot, they would win because I am out. So if the person behind you, I always get to show, you got to shoot in your normal regular line, just like we've done before. A lot of you are familiar with this bump or knockout, as you call it, or lightning. Gotcha all are the same game where the first person shoots and then the next person shoots. If the second person makes it before the first person, that person's out. You can have this with a lot of kids, you can have it with just a few kids. So go ahead and play that. If you're not sure, I'm also going to attach a video of some kids playing it that I found on YouTube. All right, so continue to practice those basketball skills. Just in a review, we practiced our dribbling where we're pushing the basketball down with the pads of our fingers. We did the pivoting where we jump stop. We're on balance, one foot's in cement and we turn. And then we did some passing where we step to our target, thumbs are down. Then we did some shooting with some beef and then finished with some layups where the whole basketball goes above the whole rim and your eyes are making those layups. I hope you learned something today and are well on your way to practicing those basketball skills. Last thing, a quick review. When your team is on offense in basketball, you have the ball. So anytime, that's just about any sport, the same way. In football, when your team's on offense, your team has the ball. So when you are on offense, you have the ball. Offense, our ball. Defense is when we don't have the ball. So if my team does not have the basketball, I'm on defense. Remember, defense, I have my knees bent, my hands are out. If I'm guarding the person, the guy or girl that has the basketball, I would be here and I need to slide from side to side, okay? I hope you enjoyed our basketball unit. Make sure you watch the Trailblazers play if you want to learn more about basketball. And I will see you again on Friday. See you later.